PeaceHealth Southwest Medical Center in Vancouver is now restricting visitors after identifying a COVID outbreak. 10 patients in the hospital have tested positive, all with links to the same floor. There are also 4 employees that have tested positive. In addition to restricting visitors, the hospital closed the affected floor to any new admissions. They're also testing all other patients on that floor. 5 of the 14 COVID cases involve fully vaccinated people, but the only ones showing symptoms right now are people who are unvaccinated. Health officials will test to see if the Delta variant is found in those people affected. Every state in the country, as a matter of fact, is seeing a rise in COVID cases right now.
Federal health officials say this is the 4th surge of the pandemic, and it's hitting unvaccinated people. They say 99% of those in the hospital with COVID didn't get a COVID shot. For instance, in Los Angeles County, mask mandates are back as positive cases there have jumped 700%.
I would say that it's not punishment, it's prevention. We still have 4 million people out of 10 million that haven't been vaccinated.
Doctors are urging anyone who's reluctant to go ahead and get vaccinated. They're concerned this 4th surge of COVID won't be the last, and more places will be forced to put in prevention measures. So here's the situation in Oregon. You can see the moving average is starting to tick up a little bit. The last daily report included 369 cases. Washington is seeing a similar curve with numbers still relatively low compared to the rest of 2021.
All right, speaking